Jim, I can't imagine the month of October was great for you guys from just a mental standpoint as far as being able to stay focused and engaged on the task at hand. How do you feel like you guys were able to overcome those losses and even not the start you were looking for against Florida State and stay in the fight and win that game?
I think it's just taking by small increments. Take it day by day, and then when you're in a game, take it play by play. Try to have a short memory, but make sure you learn from those mistakes. And unfortunately, we didn't learn fast enough in that 4-game losing streak, but glad that we were able to get that win and get back on track at Florida State. But really just focusing on the task at hand and not trying to get too caught up in what happened in the past.
Jimmy, I think I finally figured out what running off the ball means, although I'm not sure I know why it's called that. But can you tell me, did you guys did you run off the ball the way you wanted to on Saturday?
No, we did not. No, not as well as we should have. There were too many mistakes up front. And even though the run game was better than it has been, it's still not where we need it to be. And, the O-line, I think we all agree upon that, and it's not where we want it to be. And so that's why we worked hard today in practice and why we keep working harder. But it was definitely better than what we've seen in the past, for sure.
Jimmy, how important do you think getting the win against Florida State was in terms of moving forward, like maybe vaulting you and, finishing out the season strong after the 4-game losing streak?
It was extremely important. I mean, anytime you can get a win, it's awesome. And so, wins and losses, it's so hard to get a win in conference play. The margins are really small. And so when you do get them, just make sure you take advantage of it. And it was very important. But we have a great team, and, it was good that we finally just got back on the right side of the win-loss column.
Jimmy, how important having Rashad Weaver back, obviously involved in the game and just with this team, obviously he was around last year mentoring and stuff, but how important has it been to this team to really have him back on the field and go in this season?
It's extremely, it's very valuable to have Weave out there. And, we were talking on the sideline in the fourth quarter, the O-line, when they pulled us, and we're just watching the defense in, and we're like, could you imagine having we would go against that every day during camp, but then we're like, we don't have to prepare for – we have not seen two defensive linemen of that caliber. And so when you get one of them, you set all the protections away, you game plan for one of them. But when you got two of them, like Pat Jones and Rashad Weaver, that's a nightmare for offensive lines and offenses too. So it's extremely valuable to have both of those guys out there. It's like having, like Ricky Jackson and Hugh Green. I don't know if I can make that comparison yet, but we have, two of the best DNs at Pitt, at the same time, one of the best combos we've seen probably here in a long time.
Jimmy, they've been standing Pat up a little bit, having him play if you're the center, what do? You look up and you see Pat Jones standing up as a linebacker.
I'm calling my protection and we're blocking them.
That's not usual, right? I mean, you're getting there, you're getting ready for the snap, and you look up and see the defensive end who you're normally worried about pass rushing in a totally different spot. What does that do to a line?
Actually, a lot of teams do that. We call it an odd joker package. So they go three D linemen down and then one DN standing up usually. Florida State did that actually a little bit. But I don't think anybody does it as good as we do, or at least what we've shown last Saturday. So it's not as much of a big of a deal kind of until it's Pat Jones standing up. That's when it becomes pretty much of a big deal.
Jimmy, we talked to Carter last week, and he said a lot of the guys were leaning on you in the O-line room throughout the losing streak, trying to find answers, stay focused. What did you see from your teammates? Because you're the captain of the offensive line. You're the guy that sets the tone for the group. What have you seen from your teammates, and who's been stepping up and finding ways to improve even during that losing streak when you guys were struggling to find answers?
One thing that I saw was that, these guys you got to take losses to the heart because it's the worst thing in football. Losing is absolutely the worst. You put so much time in and it's easy to get crushed by a loss, but then when you tack four of them on top of each other, it's heartbreaking. And so one thing that I saw from our group, especially the O-line, is the will to, or the need to improve every day, kind of. Every day we were coming back in, nothing changed. When we meet at nights on our own, it wasn't like a couple guys were slacking. Oh, I'm not coming anymore. Or I'm not practicing as hard. It's we kept coming at it, and there's no quitting any of us at all. And, it was just kind of like the will to improve, I guess, is what I saw the most out of my group. And then this team, we have a mature team. We got older guys, like myself, who played a lot of football, and we realized that our days are counting down. And so, we want to make sure we take advantage of, the rest of the opportunities we have left. No, we're not going to go out there and lay down. We're trying to win these rest of the games.
Jimmy, go ahead, Chris.
I was just asking, you guys got over 100 yards in rushing from your running backs for the first time in a few games. I just wanted to ask what you guys, now that you had time to evaluate the tape, I know you got the 24-hour rule, but things that you guys did well, and maybe some things you guys still specifically need to improve upon going up against Georgia Tech.
Yeah, the game plan was there. It was a good game plan by Coach Whipple and Coach Borbley. We executed better than we have in the past, but we left a lot of yards out there. Like when you watch the film, it's just like, it's one guy. It's me making a bad call and sending my guys in the wrong direction. It's the, backside guard not being able to cut off fast enough, or play side tackle getting pushed back. It's just like one little thing. We're so close to getting so many more yards. So that's like, another thing we're putting emphasis on this week is, let's not make those little mistakes. Those, it's like death by 1,000 cuts. It's like, you don't think like one little mistake here and there, it adds up at the end. So that's what we're trying to get rid of.
Jimmy, when we talked to Carter last week, he mentioned that, these trying to get a few wins at the end of the season. He mentioned you and Bryce, potentially guys moving on after the end of this season. Have you allowed yourself to think about that, or I guess with this closing stretch, appreciate these games more as this thing kind of comes to a head?
Yeah, I have. I mean, obviously, I'd be lying to you if I said I haven't thought about it. But yeah, I have. And honestly, I'm happy that the NCAA has given me the option that I can come back if I want to, or I can leave if I want to. That's nice. But no, my mindset's really on these last couple games. And like I said, just trying to enjoy it. Ever since I, got injured in 2018, that's where my mindset's been, just because you never know when that game could be your last. So just trying to make sure I enjoy these last three.
How nice has it been to have your parents there and for these games? And I guess they'll be there next weekend. Or will they be there this weekend too? Or
yeah, they'll be there. The first game they ever missed was the BC game. They even came for the home games just to watch from down the street.
Yeah.
My parents haven't missed a game since I think started playing. I at least had one of them out there. So I'm very happy that they're there, and I'm glad that we're allowed to have some fans.
Jimmy, Pat told us you guys had to eat outside in the tent before the game, Florida State. What was that experience like as a player and just as your teammates? Like, what were you guys like talking about as you guys are going through that?
Honestly, it was nice. I felt like I was going to like an outdoor wedding, big wedding tents, fans, and they had like these big like outdoor cooling stations. I don't know what they were. And these big, it was fine. It was good. It was a different experience. Never been done in Tallahassee, so it's not like I had something to base it off of in the previous, but it was really didn't think anything of it. It was nice weather down in Florida. It was like, I think it was like 70 degrees, and we're sitting under shade and having fans. So it was nice.